Hi, this is Sweet Little Bloodhound. We're back with the SLB in the Trailer podcast. We're live at Putnam's Unplugged tonight at Putnam's Pub and Cooker, 419 Myrtle Avenue in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. And that's at Putnam's Pub on Twitter and Instagram. So we're here tonight. We have a great night. We're here with Songwriter Night, and we have 4 amazing songwriters here with us. So our first songwriter of the night, we have Drew Cutler. And just give you a little bit of information on him. He is from Brooklyn, and he's going to tell us more about what he's up to. He's a rock songwriter and storyteller in a band also called The Heart and Hand.
Right.
And he has a lot of experience writing songs and connecting with the audience with laughter and rhythm and nostalgia and melody. So Drew Cutler's going to give us a little update on what he's up to. Hi, Drew. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome.
So give us a little heads up on, I saw that you're working on a video, is that right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
About a year ago, I'm formulating my thoughts
good.
here.
No problem.
About a year ago, I had a successful Kickstarter campaign, which was cool. I raised about $3,000 to make a video, and so we decided to do it again. This time around, we decided not to do the Kickstarter thing, so I'm self-funding it. But let me just tell you the story of the video. Yeah, It's a song called Familiar, and it's a nice piano ballad that deals a lot with the themes of nostalgia, and I'm super psyched to release it in April.
Awesome. Tell us, before we get too sidetracked, I want to make sure people can find you, because later on they'll be hearing some of your live music from Putnam's, and so they can find you at facebook.com Drew Cutler Music, right?
Right, and this is an important disclaimer for any folks out there. My name's Drew Cutler, and that's spelled with a U.
Right.
I have a funny story about that. When I moved to New York, which was about 6 years ago, I Googled myself, as all musicians should do, and I found my birth name is Andrew, right? That there is a gay male porn star who has the same first name and last name and spelling as me.
Fabulous.
And this dude, Drew Cutler, it has 1 million followers on Twitter. So I didn't want to fight with this guy. I didn't want it to be like an ongoing battle. I don't know how long is his career going to last. And so at that point, I started Googling myself, changed some stuff, and that's how I began spelling my name with a U.
Very clever. Very clever. Love it. If that doesn't work out, you could always go into porn. Oh, dear. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about what kind of music projects you're working on. Are you also writing music right now currently? Do you have what CD are you pushing right now or anything like that?
Great. I'm always writing, definitely always writing. I am going to release an EP around my music video and the song called Familiar. And I think it sounds like singer-songwriter rock and roll music. It has a little bit of an indie edge, but I'm super inspired by music of the late 60s and 70s, so like recording on tape and kind of getting things live, like Fleetwood Mac. I was really inspired by their record Rumors last year, like I only listened to that, the Beatles and the Stones and early Dylan stuff. So all these like things where, dudes and gals just get into a room and they try to just get one on tape. And
Great.
So that's the thing that I've been pushing the last year, and it's difficult to do, harder than I thought.
Right. Do you work a lot in the city with recording? Where do you go to record?
The last recording I did was in Hudson, New York, a place called Waterfront Studios. This amazing producer named Henry Hirsch. And it's kind of a weird story how he and I met. I was reading this magazine called Sound on Sound, which is a really well-known audio magazine. And they did this article about this dude that had a studio in Manhattan and was like, I can't afford this anymore. After like 25 years, and moved up to Hudson, moved all this analog gear, bought a church, renovated it. And I was listening to his views on music, and he had these strong opinions. He loved recording on tape. He refused to have a computer. He had all these like amazing visions of what music should be. He's the guy responsible for all the Lenny Kravitz records, like Are You Gonna Go My Way, like all that stuff. And I was like, this guy sounds awesome. Like I just want to meet him, even if I can't afford to work with him really, but maybe I'll just meet him. So Henry Hirsch found his website, Googled him, sent him an email. He got back, and he was like, hey, I think we should work together. I like your music. And I got to go up there and track a song. So
That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Really great. Well, Drew, I want to make sure that we introduce the other songwriters. So we're definitely going to hear more from Drew in a minute, but I want to make sure we introduce everybody that's here, and then we're going to all answer questions about writing. So, Drew, we really appreciate you hanging out.
No problem.
Now we'll bring up Karen Dahlstrom, and we'll go from there. All right, great. We're back here with Karen Dahlstrom, who is a songwriter who's been working in the New York scene for a while, and she's going to tell us more about that. Her influences are traditional folk and Americana styles. She has a solo EP, Gem State, with a G-E-M, which I love, and is a collection of songs inspired by your home state of Idaho, which we'll have to find out more about where in Idaho, because I did live there for 2 years. And then you recently performed in Caryville New Folk Competition, right? So
Caryville, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that's Karen. Let's get Karen Dahlstrom. I'd like to introduce you. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Devlin.
We're happy to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about what your projects are right now?
Sure. Mainly, I'm involved in a band called Bobtown. We just released our third album called A History of Ghosts, so we've been playing in support of that. And mostly shows out of state right now, but every now and then we do play a show here in New York. And then occasionally I get to play some solo stuff. So recently I won gold at the Mid-Atlantic Song Contests, which is sponsored by the Songwriters Association of Washington. So that was a nice little surprise.
That's
Thank
huge.
you.
Yeah, it's always huge when you can make a little milestone accomplishment. It's
it was
like,
pretty
oh,
nice.
Yay! I'm making moves, right?
Right. So now I'm just trying to put some more material together to maybe do a second album. So.
Okay, great. And when you're writing, what do you find where are you getting your inspiration from?
Sometimes it's just a story that I've heard, or, if I'm out and I'm seeing another artist, maybe like some lick they did, or recently I just saw Jason Esbell at Beacon, great show, and he was playing slide guitar in standard tuning, which is extremely difficult and very inspiring. So playing around with something like that something may come out of it, but generally a melody will come first, and then I'll figure something out around that. When
you get the melodies, do you also get the lyrics? Or is it mostly melody and then you find something?
Sometimes. A lot of times it's just me recording into my iPhone a lot of gibberish, but along a melody, and then I, depending on what the mood of the song is, that might dictate what the lyrics are. Okay,
great. So we found you through Carol Ann Solobello, who was here last week and had an awesome show here.
And today is her birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday to Carol Ann. She's having a show tonight.
Yeah, her concert window.
Window, which is a great thing for indie artists, because this show is about promoting for indie artists and finding answers to questions that you might have and where to get the information you need. And that's a great resource for indie artists, is Concert Window, where you really don't have to put out money to do it. I mean, you do have to split it. I think it's a 70-30 split with Concert Window. But you can play at your home in comfortable surroundings and have good acoustics and be in control of that.
Stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm, especially in winter, right? So tell us a little bit about this project that you're working with the other artists. Who's in that project with you?
In Bobtown?
Yeah.
There's 4 other band members. We write all our own material. We have... everyone's a songwriter in the band, so everyone brings a song in, so it's really fun and eclectic. It comes from all sorts of Americana roots music, blues, funk, polka, whatever we want to do, and then we sort of Bobtownize it. So wow. It's a really fun band to be in, and it's fun to play.
What's the instrumentation in the band?
We have bass. I play rhythm guitar. We've got some drums. We used to have a suitcase kick drum.
Okay, cool. I've seen that. Yeah, it's great.
We have all kinds of fun little percussion instruments: banjo, dobro, accordion,
wow.
Ukulele.
Okay, so you've got some multi-instrumentalists in there.
Yeah, we're all kind of multi-instrumentalists, right. And if we grab something and we think it's good for the song, we'll play it.
Fantastic. Who are you when you record? Do you record in the area? Is there anybody that people should know about or you recommend?
Our last 2 albums for Bobtown we recorded at Vinegar Hill Studios, run by Justin King, who, if you don't know, is an amazing guitar player and has a great band.
Is that here in Dumbo?
It's in Dumbo. Okay. And then I recorded my EP up in Catskill, New York. at a place called Old Soul Studios, which is really great. Recently, Langhorne Slim recorded there. Nico Case has recorded there. AC Newman, and that's run by Kenny Siegel, and it's a really, really great spot. Very homey. It's because it's in his home, but it's beautiful
that's
studio.
Great. I find that really peaceful when you get to work in a very comfortable environment to create. Allows the voices to speak.
Yeah.
So, Karen, we want to thank you for coming to the show. We're going to hear a little bit more from about your style and songwriting, gifts or whatever when we open up the questions to everybody. But I want to bring on Kal Ki Ho as well, and then we'll come back. Okay. Thanks
so
Karen.
much.
Oh, Karen, wait. Before you go, I want to make sure we get your how to find you, how to follow you.
Sure. You can visit my website at KarenDahlstrom.com, and that's spelled Dahlstrom.
Great. And on Facebook, you're there as well?
I don't have a music page on Facebook, but that will be changing soon. I will have one soon.
Twitter, Instagram, any of
that? Pretty much just the website right now.
Okay, we're just checking. As long as you got that out there. Thank you so much, Karen. All right, welcome back. We have our third songwriter for the night. We have Kal Ki Ho here with us, and that's spelled Kehoe, just to be clear, and Calkehoe. I just want to be clear because you can spell Cal different ways too. So, but we wanted to welcome here to Putnam's Unplugged, and just give you a little backstory. He's played the side stage with notable acts like Bob Dylan, Wilco, My Morning Jacket, John Mayer, the Allman Brothers, Fish, Citizen Cope, Zach Brown Band, Dave Matthews Band, Bruno Mars, Steely Dan, and Steve Winwood. And also a graduate of Berklee College of Music, which is a really fantastic resource for all musicians, and you can do online programming and schooling. So we're going to welcome Kal Ki Ho.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Can you tell us first, Kal, a little bit about your style?
My style? Well, let's see. My whole act is pretty much live looping. I've been doing that for, since I really started playing music.
And how long ago was that, would you say?
I mean, I really started getting into it maybe age 11 or 12.
Right.
So that was one of my first guitar pedals, was a Boss RC30 or something like that. So I've been looping for forever. But yeah, I would say I loop a lot of like rock and blues type stuff with some folk and Americana, references in there and stuff like that. So yeah. Who
have been your major influences?
Major influences, let's see.
I mean, they may not appear in your music, but you grew up with them and they kind of inspired you. I mean, maybe they do appear in your music.
Well, if I had to, Jimi Hendrix was huge for me growing up. Grateful Dead.
Awesome.
I was born within hours of Jerry Garcia's passing, so.
Oh, wow. So
it's kind of they're a favorite of mine. I'm also a big fan of the band Fish. Other songwriters. I'm a big John Mayer fan as well. More recently, I've been pretty heavy into Iron and Wine, and Wilco, My Morning Jacket have been big on me. But guitar players, definitely Derek Trucks, Jimi Hendrix, Jerry Garcia, Trey Anastasio.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, but hey, we all get our influences from
I could
somewhere.
go on for hours.
Yeah. So the looping you've been doing for a while, you said.
Yes.
Have you seen Ed Sheeran perform?
Yes, I have.
What do you think of what he does?
I think Ed Sheeran's incredible. He's a great songwriter. I don't know if
he uses a lot of looping.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's got a giant looper. He's a great guy. I've had a lot of discussions regarding Ed Sheeran in the past couple of weeks, but if you really want to see someone just an incredible performer who's just amazing at looping, I would definitely say you should go and see Andrew Bird. Okay. Because he is just a incredible violinist and singer, and he can whistle like a bird, and it's beautiful. But Ed Sheeran's great.
That's my poll, because that's where he's like the most popular right now, and he's a leader. So that's why I was bringing that up. But it doesn't mean you have to be a huge fan.
No.
I thought you'd have opinion about him.
No,
being a looper.
Love Ed Sheeran. He's great. Yeah. He's got some really, really great stuff.
Yeah. What do you think about? Did you watch the Grammys?
I did.
And was there anything that you took home or artists that you were happy that won or anything like that?
Oh, I was ecstatic that Beck won. I love that album. I've been listening to that. I believe it's called Moon Phases. Is that
Yeah, I think
and Sea Change, which was kind of like the albums that it's like the sequel, the first one and the second one. Yeah, I was really happy with that. Saint Vincent is another one. She
Okay.
won the alternative album of the year, so that was really great too. I love her. She's an awesome performer.
Great. She was just here in Prospect Park band show last summer. Yeah,
That
she
was on
played
my
live.
birthday.
Yeah.
I was
Did
playing
you go to it?
I was playing a show in Saratoga, New York. I believe I was doing side stage for Zach Brown then, so I was pretty bummed I missed that. But
Yeah.
that was a great show.
You have some pretty amazing names that you've shared spot with, or however. Have you been able to meet some of these people and speak with them about what you're doing and what they're up to? Or?
I've met Gary Clark Jr. And Derek Trucks. I've spoken to him a couple times.
He's a phenomenal guitarist.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. I've seen him dozens of times, and he's just the nicest.
He seems very approachable.
Very humble, really great guy. But I haven't gotten the chance to meet all of those guys. But
It would
I've
be
met.
amazing. I mean, that's a fantastic list. But we all, everybody has their own thing they're doing when they perform. So
Yeah, sure.
They're not always focused on who else is here. So, Cal, tell us where they can find and follow you online.
So www.kalkeho.com, and again, it's Kalkehoe. It's an Irish last name, so it's good to be at Putnam's right now.
Great.
And then also Instagram and Twitter. It's just at Kal Ki Ho.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the artist back up, and we're all going to answer a few questions about songwriting and just anything that maybe has popped into their head while they've been sitting. And then we'll go upstairs, and we're going to hear some live music from the songwriters and get a feel for their music. And hopefully at the end of the podcast, you'll hear some live stuff. So we'll be right back with all the artists. So we're back, and we have Kal Ki Ho here, as well as Karen Dahlstrom and Drew Cutler, and Han is upstairs probably getting ready for the show, so we didn't get to get him on the podcast. We will hopefully have him back in a few weeks. And we wanted to just get all of their feedback on certain things being an indie artist. And I know on the break here, Cal told me he wanted to mention an EP that he's working on. So we'll start with that. So Cal, tell us a little bit about your EP that you're working on.
Awesome, very cool. So I'm gonna be doing I'm recording a live EP. I'm gonna do a couple songs in a studio in Brookfield, Connecticut, called Wireframe Studio, with my friend Steve Powers and Quentin Gelderman, who's an amazing percussionist. So yeah, instead of like doing kind of a full band EP, I thought it'd be better to do a live EP in front of maybe 15, 20 people in a studio and just kind of showcase my live looping.
That's fantastic.
So, awesome.
And it's definitely going to have an energy that you don't have when you're in a recording studio. When you have an
Definitely.
audience there. That would be something that I would be interested in trying someday too, because there's also a nervousness that happens that may not happen so much when there's nobody there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's how Sinatra used to do it. He used to bring his friends in so that he would have somebody to sing to, and you can hear it in those performances.
Yeah, it's so funny too when you listen to his stuff. You can hear him get frustrated at the band sometimes. Like if you listen to like a live orchestration album of his, he'll be like, "Oh, this is dragging," like pick it up, just end that one, Frank Sinatra, it makes me laugh. But let's open up the question to you all, and you can just step forward and answer as you see fit. But let's talk about collaboration, because a lot of times I feel when you see credits on songwriting, especially for the Grammys, you're going to see like 6 to 10 people listed on a song. Whether they actually had something to do with it or not, they might have recorded it, they might have said, I need my name on that, because that's changing a lot. But then if you think about it, you have 6 to 10 people working that song. So can you tell us, all of you, a little bit about some collaborations that you've done?
Moving to Brooklyn, I used to live in Manhattan, and I worked for Apple Computers for like 5 years. And one day I was selling iPods just like anyone else, and this gentleman walked up, and he had a problem with his laptop. He said, "Can you help me?" So I opened up his laptop and started helping him. I really realized very quickly he was working in Pro Tools, and that he said he was a songwriter, and he kind of knew what he was doing. So I inquired. I said, "Hey, what do you do? What do you write songs?" He said, "Well, my name's Jeff Frenzel. I'm a songwriter." I'm like, "Would I recognize your work?" He's like, "Yeah, I wrote for NSYNC. I've written for Backstreet Boys. I've worked with Clay Aiken. I've done." So this guy's like, big time pop, straight ahead pop songwriter. And we ended up chatting and having a good time and working out this kind of relationship where I would help him with his computer and learn how to record music because he was kind of an old school cat. He wasn't really he didn't know how to record music. But then he would listen to my songs. And it became clear then that when you're collaborating, there's some relationships that you have to establish really early on, like who's going to write the lyrics, who's going to write the chords, and how are you going to split it up? You know, when especially pop songs that could eventually be worth a lot of money. And his philosophy, and I'll sort of end on this, was anytime I work with someone, half. We just split it in half equally. 3 people, 5 people, whatever. It's not worth it. 60, 40, 75, 20, whatever. Just make everybody happy and continue the relationships rather than cutting them off.
I totally agree with that, Drew. Thank you so much. Karen or Kal, you have something about collaboration that you might have worked on with anybody?
I haven't done much writing collaboration, but what I have is sort of, I have a friend, Dave Keener, and sometimes we play together as a duo called the Do-Overs. And we have written together in sort of a very higgledy-piggledy half, I don't know, it just sort of comes, and we kind of feed off each other, and it isn't so much, okay, you do the lyrics and I'll do the chords. We'll go along, and then like, I think this should go to a minor 2 or something, and it's fun because it's not like a big stress for us, and we're just doing it for fun anyway. With the band, we collaborate a lot on arrangements. Maybe not so much the song, but definitely arrangements is very much a group collaboration. And a lot of times we'll have a song that really doesn't come to life until we start doing an arrangement. So yeah, we tend to kind of, same thing, we just split it up evenly because it's not worth haggling over.
Exactly. Kal, do you have any collaborations that you've done or maybe would like to do in the future?
Well, actually, I haven't done a lot of writing collaborations, but I've been working with Livingston Taylor quite a bit recently, and he really liked my songs when he heard them like 1 or 2 years ago, and I'm just kind of bouncing ideas off of him. Sometimes I send him demos, and he tells me, he's very into diction in terms of like pronouncing words right and chord changes, like Showtime chord changes. So he's been pretty instrumental, for lack of a better term, in kind of like helping me evolve as a songwriter. So yeah, I'd want to collaborate with him definitely a lot more. So
great.
Can I ask him a question?
Sure.
In terms of collaboration, have either of you guys been in a band that broke up?
Yes.
And what did you do? Like, have you ever been involved in one of those collaborative songwriting techniques? The band breaks up now. Whose song is it? I'm asking if you've dealt with that and what you had to do.
Well, there've definitely been members who have left,
Right.
who had songs, and since the songs were actually sort of written by the songwriter, the person that I replaced in Bobtown, we did one of her songs for a while, but that was with permission, but we didn't record it, and we only did it for a little while, and then retired it out of respect for her. Out of respect for her, we played it, and out of respect for her, we
Put it on the show.
Yeah,
it's
we
always
put it on the
tricky. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like having a band is like dating 5 people at once.
Totally.
And any of those relationships, if they become sour, you could lose the songs, And I've had that happen. I was just wondering if I'm the only one.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to just ask, we're going to start wrapping up here because they need to set up down here. We're at Putnam's Unplugged at 419 Myrtle, and we're doing Songwriter Night tonight. And we're going to hear some live music upstairs. But one thing that I like to ask everybody is, what's in your pocket? Your purpose versus your pocket. So right now, what do you have in your pocket? I don't need to see anything crazy, but like, show me a thing or two. Okay, Karen is showing us an iPhone.
My iPhone is with me always.
Okay.
Kal, tell us what you have, Kal.
So I really wanna try to get an endorsement deal with this pen company. It's Pilot Pens, and it's called Frixion. I hope I'm not getting you guys in trouble with advertisements or anything. These are erasable pens.
Bleep.
Yeah. These are erasable pens. I travel with 3 of these at all time, and all times, and they're the greatest pens in the world. And I can't leave home without chapstick.
What else you got there?
Earplugs and my phone.
Nice.
Andrew?
This is normal stuff, wallet keys. I do want to tell a short story about why I have exactly 62 cents. I was vacuuming my couch, and there was a show at my loft. I live in this loft in Bushwick. We host live music venue there. It's called the Brooklyn Warehouse. And we had this show last night, and people lost some change. So I opened up all of the couches, and I vacuumed the hell out of those suckers, and only took me an hour, and I made 62 cents.
That's the music business right there.
Fabulous. Okay, so we got your pocket. And the reason I ask your pocket, I don't know if you're aware, but I ask what's in your pocket because it's an opportunity when you have to, as a musician, work several different positions, whether you're working at Apple or you're working at a temp agency or you're waiting tables, to keep something close to you that always inspires you about who you are. So you never forget, okay, you got a guitar pick in your pocket, I'm a musician first. And it's just a cool way to remember you're an artist, right? So the other thing, and that's a two-part question, is what's your purpose? Do you know, do you feel like your purpose is to do music? Do you feel like you have a greater purpose? And can you all just speak about that?
That's so metaphysical. I think that I have this voice for a reason, so I should use it. And however it comes out, whether it's a purpose or not, but it's something I certainly don't want to waste, and has brought me a lot of joy in my life, and I've met some really, really cool people through music, so.
It doesn't have to be an epiphany sort of moment, but if you had something that you feel like a lot of artists just feel motivated because of something, and you can share that if you have anything, Kal or Drew.
Music is a collaborative experience. I want people to be involved, okay? I want them to, they want to know the story of the music. They don't want to just sit there and have their heads and bodies entertained. They want to be part of it. They want to express that they're excited. They want to understand it. And that is something that's very inspiring to me.
Actually, I have a quote here. And I actually needed to search through my Instagram to find it. This is my favorite Jeff Buckley quote ever. It's on the back of the DVD Grace Around the World. And it hit me. I read it. I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. And it says, artists need to shut the hell up and listen to what exactly is coming from inside. You just have to find exactly what you should be doing, and every choice will be made from that. I have to do this. I'm made to do this. So that hit me when I was deciding whether I wanted to be a skateboarder or a cartoonist or a guitar player. And I'm happy I chose being a musician.
So we're going to start wrapping it up so we can get upstairs. As you can hear, they're setting up for a party down here, so we got to get upstairs and set ourselves up. But we're here again at Putnam's Unplugged. We're at Putnam's Pub and Cooker at 419 Myrtle Avenue, cross street Clinton Avenue in Clinton Hill, Fort Greene area, Brooklyn. So again, this is the SLB in the Trailer copyright production, and I'm Devlin Miles of Sweet Little Bloodhound, and this is 2015. Thank you.
This is a song I wrote about stories my dad told me about growing up in a railroad town in eastern Idaho. You better get back on that train, boys, if you know what's good for thee. You'll get much more than you bargained for when you tango with me. When you tango with me. When Uncle Sam said he wanted me, I took the first train down the track and ended up in Normandy with a rifle on my back. Left Jerry on that bloody shore when the cap said give him hell. Took down a score, but I wanted more, even when them Jerrys fell. You better get back on that train, boys, if you know what's good for thee. You'll get much more than you bargained for when you tango with me, when you tango with me.
How many moons? How many moons? How many moons will you guide me alone? How many dark years? Don't think about it. How many light years? Don't think about how beautiful. How beautiful, how beautiful you look right beside me, guide me along. We've been drifting so far away from the very beginning, baby. How many moons, infinite moons, my love, my love.
Rolling down the highway like a rocket, God, I'm headed to town now. Can't stop it, got the wheel in my head as I stand on the floor of this boat, of this car on the road. This woman in the backseat, she my wifey in the middle of delivery. Man, she saved me to this day, I don't know why. She picked me up when I was down on the road with the wind when it blows. Sun's gonna rise in a mile. In a mile, you'll be feeling fine. In a mile out, you will see after me. Once you're out of the door, you get your shot. Sun's gonna rise in a mile. In a mile, you'll be feeling fine. In a mile out, you will see after me. Once you're out of the door, you get your shot.